It has black here, and there's like a big square. It looks like a square, it just has a little corner here. It goes straight across. There's a square right in here, which looks like a rectangle, and it is. There's like little lines that go through. And there's a circle here which has a brown X.
This is from anime. Don't mind this. This is nothing. This is Naruto's headband. And then this is name of boat. And this is what happened with it. And this is still nothing. Okay, bye.
I'm not done yet. That's my favorite one. So that's why I'm doing a flag off it. And if I don't win, I will raid on this entire school.
I made this one after a sword and a rose. It's just a sword. It reminds me, my brother has, not collects, but he has some swords. So that kind of reminded me of my brother. And then a rose is, I think, my second favorite flower. So I can kind of bind it and made a rose sword.
I made this because it just reminds me of oceans, and this wave is like downward surfers doing their tricks. And then I made the second one. It reminded me of a lollipop, and it also reminded me about when I was in New Jersey. I painted it like this, but with flowers on it, like right here to here to here, and then flowers.
This reminds me of my bedroom because they're a little light and like dark around. And the grays looks like a little silver, like on like tire cars, but like on the lines on them. And the black reminds me at the night and the morning, and this reminds me at the morning.
These are incense matches. They are made in New Jersey in the same factory that they've been made in since the 1970s, as you can see from the packaging. And the inside, it kind of tells you a secret trick about how they work, which I'm going to tell you about. They cover up unwanted odors, whatever they may be from, you can just use your imagination. But the way that they work is they work just like regular matches. They've got this really nice, thick, satisfying foil on them, which is really cool. But they work like a match. You peel it back. I keep them in my bathroom. You put like a little ashtray in there. So you just light it like a match, and you can just light it like a match. And you can just you can blow it out if you want and just get a little bit of incense. But if you want to be fancy, you can let it burn down past the match head, just past the match head. You gotta watch it, and then blow it out gently. And then you can kind of see it's got like a little bit of a ember going. And then I put it in a little clip like this and just put it in an ashtray, and it'll actually burn down the length of the matchstick. And you'll get like a nice small amount of incense. It's not so overwhelming like a long stick. And then you've accomplished getting rid of unwanted odors and having like a cool 1970s style package of matches in your bathroom, and everybody's happy.
My nose is running, my throat is dry, my eyes are blurry, and it feels like my head is in a vice. Tell me about it. I have this pain in my right thumb that's really getting to me. That is by no means comparable. Okay, you're right. Listen, I called 911 to hopefully get this taken care of. Are you gonna get an ambulance here or something? I guess. Great, well, I hope your day gets better. Like you care.
There's a fascinating story here at this cottage near the top of McGregor Mountain. It took place in the summer of 1885, 9 miles north of Saratoga Springs in upstate New York. Ulysses S. Grant was the Civil War commanding general of the U.S. Army. He was the 18th President of the United States. But at this cottage, where he spent the final 6 weeks of his life, he was no longer a general, no longer a president. He was just a man trying to take care of his family. In May of 1884, Grant discovered that the investment firm, which contained most of his net worth, had entirely collapsed, leaving him nearly penniless. 2 months later, he was diagnosed with terminal throat cancer. Fearing for the well-being of his wife Julia and his children when he died, Grant agreed to write his memoirs in order to provide his family with financial security. His doctor in New York City believed that the fresh, clean, unpolluted air might prolong his life enough to complete his memoirs. He arrived at the cottage on June 16, 1885, and finished the book 4 days before he died on July 23rd. During Grant's final 6 weeks of life here, the Hotel Balmoral sat perched atop the hill adjacent to the cottage, with as many as 7 trains a day traveling to and from the mountaintop. The Balmoral accommodated Grant's friends and visitors, and the reporters who kept a constant vigil on him. It also hosted those who flocked to the site for the purpose of healing air and recreation, the ordinary people of the times that are left unmentioned in the pages of history. From the porch, Grant regularly waved to hotel guests and those who came seeking a glimpse of the famous American hero. Grant's entire life reflects a dance with conflicting and complex facets of the American story. He was born into a family of staunch abolitionists, yet the family of his beloved wife Julia were slaveholders. While 2 of his pallbearers were Union generals, the other 2 had fought for the Confederacy. Visitors to the mountaintop included beloved icons like his friend Mark Twain, and advocates for change like Susan B. Anthony. Like Grant himself, Mount McGregor's rich story includes a panorama of people from different backgrounds through time. After the adjacent Hotel Balmoral burned in 1897, the site transitioned through many uses, from a tuberculosis sanatorium, to the New York State Veterans Rest Camp, to a special needs school, to a state correctional facility. The prison closed in 2014. Although the razor-topped fencing and abandoned buildings remain, there's an opportunity now to reconnect these pieces of history and share the remarkable story of the Grant Cottage, the Hotel Balmoral, and Mount McGregor. Negotiations are underway for the state-owned but privately run Grant Cottage to acquire the 5-acre prison softball field. April 27, 2022, marks the 200th birthday of Ulysses S. Grant. It's a time to look both forwards and backwards. The historic time capsule here is immersive. It's experiential. Today's visitors stand on the same porch where General Grant diligently worked on his memoirs. 3 days before his death, General Grant, unable to speak, passed a note to his doctor requesting to be carried to the Eastern Outlook. Acquisition of this field could provide the chance for visitors to overlook more of the same breathtaking valley that Grant viewed for the last time before his death, and share the same vantage point that Hotel Balmoral guests enjoyed. Good site designers start with designing relationships, not objects. There are many rich relationships to be developed here. There are opportunities to emphasize the mountain qualities that drew Grant and the hotel guests here in the first place, and to make the connections with historic downtown Saratoga Springs and the Adirondacks through a network of bike and trail connections. There are opportunities to immerse people in the time and the story, drawing from the historic train platforms and rustic gazebos of the day. The possibilities only have to be explored, bringing different backgrounds to the table. Design is all about imagining something that doesn't exist and making it real.
Hi, I want to tell you about this drawing challenge called #GrisFeast. This is by an artist called Lord Gris that I really like. She's doing a prompt list for 30 days. It's all about different kinds of foods. Here's some of them. This is the process video of me doing today's prompt of ramen. I ink it and sketch it first. And then I start to color it with alcohol markers. And then add little details with alcohol markers. I really like ramen, and I had ramen for dinner last night, and I like having hard-boiled eggs in my ramen, so I put one in her hair. Here's a few more I did from GrisFeast. Milk, lime popsicle, honey, lemon, sushi, pine berry. See more of my drawings at RG Teddy Punch on Instagram. Hey, I made a couple more Tell Me About It films.
Hi, what are you doing? I'm reading. Let me tell you about it. Cool. Blah, 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 blah. Wake up. Hello, honeys. What can I get for you? What about the special? Oh, we have octopus, baby octopus. What? Penguin. Weird. I want to eat a kangaroo. Unicorn. And a banana. Yeah, it's banana. I'm vegan. What do you have that's vegan? The banana's vegan. We'll take that. Yum, yum. Yum. Ah! Hey, can you tell me where you got that cool hair? Yeah, on this shop over there. Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
It's very nice to see all of you guys.
Hi, Oya.
What I want to show you today is how to make Ukrainian Easter eggs.
Yay!
They're called pisanki.
Pisanki.
Can you all say that?
Pisanki.
That's perfect. You guys did a perfect job. Pisanki is from the root of the word pisate. So when we make these Easter eggs, we say that we are writing Easter eggs. Our little tool that we use is called a pisatsa. And I have been making these since I was 4 years old. I learned how to make them with my father, and then we had Ukrainian school every Saturday. So during Easter time, we would always learn to make more and more complicated designs. So, and I'm Ukrainian, as if you all haven't guessed by now. All of the eggs are just laden with symbolism. From something as simple as the little dots that we might put or the little open circles on the eggs, they would be symbolic of the Virgin Mary's tears. So the nets on the eggs, it's a very Christian symbolism. It would be Christ as the fisher of men. But that's like present day symbols. In the past, way before Ukraine was Christian, these would have been pagan eggs, and they would have been, fertility symbols and a symbol of rebirth in the spring. So the colors that we use today, that you saw us use today, which were yellow, orange, red, black, with a little splash of green, these are chemical dyes that we use today, but they're reminiscent of the dyes that would have been used back when people made them out of things like beets, beet skins, onion skins, and colors from nature. So we have a more vivid palette, but it's a palette reminiscent of those old colors. People do today make pink eggs and purple eggs and blue eggs, but the kind of more traditional palette is the one I mentioned. I always enjoy teaching this, and I've been lately teaching this to adults. So having a kids class was a lot of fun because, you just get to see what's important to them and how they approach basically, a design problem. Kids' attention span is completely different than it used to be. And using your hands to actually create something that takes 2 hours, let's say, in the case of this egg, is maybe harder for them to do than it would have been in years past. And I think it's the whole kind of the way that we focus now and the way that we concentrate and the way that, I have to say it, the way that we have technology that gives us things very rapidly and quickly. So something like this, you have to calm down, you have to clear your mind, and you have to just trust that there's a process that's going to yield some interesting results. But I think overall, they kind of got into the process. And I think in the end, when they saw the colors come out, when they removed the wax, I think that's always an enjoyable kind of, magical moment. For me anyway, still at this point. But it's like anything, if you focus and if you follow directions, you come out with a good item, a good product in the end. So.
What is that?
Oh, this is my little book about squirrels. This is kind of like a book about, it's like them all through the seasons, so like them scampering around in the summertime. Oh, did you know that squirrels sometimes like pretend to bury a nut to trick people? Well, like trick other squirrels.
No,
like,
no.
pretend.
Sorry. What is that?
What?
That.
What? I just think they're like actually really intelligent. Like they balance, literally like they can balance on a clothesline. People don't think about what squirrels think about. And I just think they're like they're really intelligent animals. Did you know that their front teeth like never stop growing? They're just constantly like they nibble on like the nuts so it files them down, I guess. But I just think they're like so incredible. And their tails. Their tails.